He's never missed.
Okay.
He is the institutional memory of cabinet, if you are to ask. Because of all the cabinet ministers we have today, he is the longest serving in cabinet. Longest uninterrupted service from 2013 to 2024. He's been in that room every single day cabinet met. Never missed. When he's telling you he came in and found, you are the only person who's never left that room. These others can even claim, we came in and found. But the one person who was a constant in the room, who never left the room, is him. Of course, it will be an earthquake of consequential impact on the people of Kenyans' lives. We are going to be sunk in economic abyss that we may never recover from as long as Kenya Kwanza is in office. What is coming, which I assure you, it is coming in the very near future. By May it will be here. Is pain in proportion that we have never felt before in our lifetime. Pain that the only people who may know it are the people of Argentina, people of Lebanon, people of Greece, people of Ghana, people of Cyprus. Those are the only people in the world who have an inkling of the kind of pain that Kenyans are going to face very soon.
A very good day to you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Candid Talk here on Herman Manyora's YouTube channel. Such a pleasure to always have you on board. My name is Evans Okinyi. And of course, this fine, is it morning or afternoon already? I don't know. But of course, we're being watched by people from various parts of the world. But depending on the time that you are getting this information, I want us to have a conversation on what is actually taking place in the country and the economic crisis that perhaps the country is finding itself into. Now, I'm joined by Wakili here, Willis Otieno, who will actually help me understand some of these things that are taking place. He is a constitutional lawyer and, of course, deputy presidential candidate come the year 2027. Wakili, you're saying round hii lazima mfike kwenye debe.
Round hii si mchezo.
Let's actually get into this conversation here, looking at how things are happening in the country. But of course, you here saying that you people, your team and Jimmy actually offer the best solution to the kind of crisis that the country is finding itself in right now. Prime Cabinet Secretary also doubles as our minister or as our Cabinet Secretary in charge of Foreign Affairs. Musalia Mudavadi, Honorable, was actually in Siaya County together with the ICT counterpart there in Eliud Owalo. And one thing that actually came from the speech by Musalia Mudavadi there in actually representing the president was actually a plea of patience from the public. Do you think that Kenyans should actually be patient with the government right now when it comes to it delivering on its promises and getting the country back to the right economic trajectory?
The first point you must ask is this. Which economic promise or which promise has Kenya Kwanza ever made that they honored? I do remember when they first came in, they said things will be okay in 3 months' time. 3 months came, more pain. Then they said, give us 6 months. 6 months came, more pain. The next thing they said was 1 year. 1 year came, more and more pain. They promised us that they will never borrow. In fact, in their campaign, they said they'll never borrow. When they came into power, they said they'll never borrow. In the last 1 year, they've borrowed 1.5 trillion, not less than 1.5 trillion Kenya shillings. They've borrowed more than any other president in his first year in office. They promised us, at the time, the shilling was retailing at 130 to the dollar. They promised us it will come down to 120 or even 115 within a week or two. It is now sitting comfortably at 167 shillings to $1. The opposite has happened. They promised us that G2G was going to lead to low cost of fuel. The price of fuel today has surpassed the 200 mark for the first time in the history of this republic called Kenya. They promised us Mama Pima cooking oil, that we will be buying edible oil, Mama Pima kiosks, vendors across the country, and the price of cooking or edible oil will come down. The opposite has happened. Now, if someone is abusive and by conduct he's been abusing you, then he comes to promise you that now I've reformed, they'll be good, we'll live together peacefully going forward. I mean, you must be a fool to think that the leopard has changed spots. There is no promise that Kenya Kwanza has ever made, and I dare any Kenyan to tell me which promise have they made that they've honored. So even the statement by Prime Cabinet Secretary that something good is coming, there's nothing good that is coming.
But of course,
in fact, what is coming, which I assure you, it is coming in the very near future. By May it will be here. Is pain in proportion that we've never felt before in our lifetime. Pain that the only people who may know it are the people of Argentina, people of Lebanon, people of Greece, people of Ghana, people of Cyprus. Those are the only people in the world who have an inkling of the kind of pain that Kenyans are going to face very soon. So if anybody wants to believe Prime Cabinet Secretary and his fake promises, like his boss's fake promises, continue. But if you are somebody who is pragmatic, who is logical, just look at their track record, which I've given you just as a mention. A tip of the iceberg. I've not even given all of it. If all of that history is a history of false promises, what makes you think that tomorrow is going to be good? It is guaranteed, certain and affirmed that they are going to serve you pain tomorrow. That is not in doubt. And Kenyans, now that they have said it, should now adjust their lifestyles. Create shock absorbers on your body for the impending pain. Because I always say, Kenya Kwanza, if they tell you A, prepare for B. They've promised you good in the next few days. Please, if you are somebody who cares for his life, your family, your neighbors, your community, your society, prepare for the worst. Because the worst is coming. Winter is here.
But to make me understand this, Wakili, definitely looking at where we came from, especially past the election, of course, the last general elections that we had in August last year, do you think that on actually looking at where we found ourselves at that particular time with the Jubilee government back then led by the former President Uhuru Kenyatta, we cannot say that that economic situation was actually good, yeah? Do you think that it would perhaps take the president maybe a year or some months to fix the entire economic crisis that we found ourselves in?
You know, you can say that it may take him time to fix the economic crisis. But you start by asking yourselves, what economic measures has he taken that will have fixed the economic crisis?
Okay.
What has he done that is meant to fix the crisis? Everything he has done has failed. So it's a failure off the blocks. Of course, when he was running for office, he knew what the problem was. He understood the economy, or he ought to have. But he chose to run, and he came up with his plans. And we are saying, your plan is sinking us faster and deeper into an economic collapse. So why give him more time? If you have a kid who has joined high school, a child has joined high school, and this child on day one is a truant, not attending class. He's carrying bangi to school, always sleeping. He does everything, steals from his fellow colleagues in school. He does everything a student is not expected to do. You will expect that student will fail the term 1 exams. He will fail term 2 exams. Now, you don't say that give him time in Form 4, he will pass his KCSE. What magic, what miracle? If the student in day 1 is showing you to be a truant, a thief, a bully, and you think that he will now become a disciplined student to pass the exams in 4 years' time. No. He has failed from day 1. Unless the student drops his bad behaviors, stops being a truant, starts attending class, stops being a bully, becomes compassionate, stops being a drug addict, and becomes a morally upright person, then you can say this student has changed his ways. He is now on a trajectory to pass his exams in 4 years' time. This our student, Kenya Kwanza, is a truant, is a druggie, is a bully. He is incompetent. Now you are saying, continue with him on those trajectories, and then in 4 years' time, he'll deliver for you good living. You will address your economic problems. I mean, only a fool will continue with that student. The sooner you address the truancy, the better. Kenya Kwanza's economic policies have failed. The sooner Kenyans accept that, the better. There is no difference with what PSC Musalia promised in Bondo and what Ruto promised last year on G2G fuel oil. It was the same thing. He said in 2 weeks' time, the dollar will retail at 120, even 115. Who knows? He said it. Not me who said it. It's him who said it. PCS Mudavadi saying in 3 months' time, short time, you are going to see a big change in this country. Earthquake. Of course, it will be an earthquake of consequential impact on the people of Kenya's lives. We are going to be sunk in economic abyss that we may never recover from as long as Kenya Kwanza is in office. If it was something great, if what the president has promised turned out to be a failure, now you think this one can promise something that will turn out to be a success. What is it? What are you doing?
But I'm still wondering, why is it, this is the government of the day, and this is our country as a nation. Why is it so difficult for you people to actually give them time, or rather offer them the right advice so that they do? What do you think is actually happening in the Kenyans? Why are people being impatient?
It is not about being patient. This is not the first government in the history of Kenya. We've had governments here before. Yeah? And we've criticized governments who've been there before.
Okay.
And we've also known when even if you critique, you are critiquing to improve on. You are giving ideas, and you are seeing them taking measures that respond to your ideas. This one is not different from those governments we've had before. The only difference is this one is an incompetent leadership that is planless, that is visionless, as opposed to the ones who've been there before. Moi, despite his thievery and dictatorship tendencies, at least was able to manage the issue of debt. He was able to keep the shilling to the dollar at a reasonable sum. Uhuru, despite his so-called drunkardness, was able to try to balance things in whatever way, even though he's also another incompetent one, like this current one. But in his drunkenness, as they say, he was trying to manage. He could tell you which project he has done. He could tell you something that at least the system is working. But here, what can you say they're showing you? Who even had a portal that he could tell us, go and look for development on the portal when all else failed? This one cannot even show you a portal to go and look for development. You are only given promises every day. Promises that cannot be delivered on. Promises that are not even founded on our budget books. Promises that are unrealistic. All that we know Kenya Kwanza will do, tomorrow they'll increase a tax, a levy, or a charge. That one is guaranteed. More pain. In fact, they even say they are going to now toll most of these highways. Those who live in Rongai, prepare. There'll be a toll station between Galleria and Rongai. Those who live on Kiambu Road,
questions that
Kiambu Road, prepare. There'll be a toll station. So for you to come from Kiambu Road into city, CBD, you will pay to enter CBD. You're coming from the Rongai diaspora, you will pay to enter CBD. I mean, those roads were built using our money. Already, in the cost of fuel, we have the fuel levy. We are already paying our taxes for the maintenance of those roads. That is why the fuel levy is charged as a cost on the price of petrol or fuel, for that matter. It's already charged. You're already paying for it. We are already paying for the maintenance of those roads. What then is this proposal that you want to put a toll station that I pay now for the fuel levy, then again I pay to enter the city? That's why I tell you, with these ones, it is guaranteed pain.
Do you intimate that the issue of tolling roads as proposed perhaps by the transport CS is an alien thing? Doesn't it happen in other developed countries?
It has happened even in Kenya before. It used to happen in Kenya before until Kenya introduced what is called fuel levy in the price of fuel. When you look at the cost of fuel in this country, there's what is called fuel levy as a charge on every liter of fuel sold. And the fuel levy is a levy meant to maintain roads. So we're already paying for it. So what government did then was to remove this physical barrier on the road. Right? Once you reduce the physical barrier on the road, then you go to the pump to collect the money which a motorist will have otherwise paid on the physical barrier. So we're already paying for the road maintenance in the fuel levy. Now you cannot maintain the fuel levy on the price of petrol or fuel, for that matter, and then go back to where we had come from to erect a physical barrier that I'm paying. In other words, you want Kenyans to pay twice because they are paying for it when they buy fuel, then you want them to pay for it also when they're using the road. The maintenance levy is already being collected. Can you apply it for the intended purpose, which was maintenance of those roads? Yes. The
president here is saying actually that he came in at a time when the economy of the country was sinking. He said he's brought it back to life somehow. The deputy president is saying that the president needs at least 10 years to rectify the kind of mess that was created by the previous regime. Mudavadi is telling us here, look, be optimistic. Good times are ahead of us. What do you make of all these kind of statements that these people make as we wind this?
He came in from where? He came in from where? Because the last I checked, he was the deputy president. He sat in all cabinet meetings.
But he said he was sidelined back then.
He sat in all cabinet meetings from 2013 to 2022. In fact, the longest serving cabinet member today is William Ruto. There's nobody who was in 2013 that is still sitting in cabinet today. None. The longest serving member of the cabinet alive today is called William Samoei Ruto. So when he says he came in from where? And he's always been in that room. At no point has he ever missed participation and presence in that room. In fact, he is what you call institutional memory of cabinet.
Doesn't the buck stop?
No. The point is this. I'm simply using that to say he's never missed. He is the institutional memory of cabinet, if you are to ask. Because of all the cabinet ministers we have today, he is the longest serving in cabinet. Longest uninterrupted service from 2013 to 2024. He's been in that room every single day cabinet met. Never missed. When he's telling you he came in and found, you are the only person who's never left that room. These others can even claim we came in and found. But the one person who was a constant in the room, who never left the room, is him. So the buck stops with him.
You can be in the room, but your hands are tied.
No. Did he ever read a minority opinion to tell Kenyans that, hey, they've made a decision, I have a problem with it? If anything, go to the internet. The internet never forgets. At any given time that Uhuru Kenyatta took a loan, the number one defender of Eurobond was William Ruto. The number one defender of domestic borrowing was William Ruto. And he has stood up in public forums defending the illegal borrowings. So he was part of it. A decision they may have made in cabinet, and he carried it with them. He owned it. He cannot now turn around and say, I came in. Came in from where? And you are always in the room. Please, when you've been in the room and you've sat on that chair for now almost 11 years, we are in the 12th year, uninterrupted, own up to the decisions you've made, you've been part of, and has led us to this economic failure. He was the principal assistant of Uhuru Kenyatta. He is now the head of state of Kenya. He's now the chief. Let him take responsibility for the decisions of Jubilee and the decisions of Kenya Kwanza.
But make me understand, what do you make by his statements? He's restored the economy back to?
You know, if the economy has been restored back, ask any Kenyan on the street.
Okay.
The sweetness of a pudding is in the tasting or the eating. If the economy has been restored, why are Kenyans angry on the streets? That's the test of a stable economy.
Okay.
Not round rooftop statements. Ask any Kenyan on the street, what is your feeling about the economy? Are you feeling a change in your economy? Are you living a better life today than you lived last year? Are you living a better life today than you lived last week? If the answer is yes, then it's affirmed.
Does he need 10 years as the deputy president says?
Even if you give him 100 years, this country will just collapse.
Well, okay, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to stop this conversation at this particular moment. But of course, you can weigh in and tell us what you think about the kind of assertions that were actually made by the Prime Cabinet Secretary, Musalia Mudavadi, who actually plead with Kenyans to be patient with the government, saying that they are doing all they can to make sure that they restore the economy of the country that has been sinking in the past. Tell us whether you believe that good times are ahead of us or tough times are ahead, as the Wakili actually has said here. Allow me stop at this time, but please do not fail to tune into some of our programs that will be coming up next. Gerald Kabiro, Richard Mwenja, these are part of our team here. We'll be always glad to bring you up to date with comprehensive analysis of everything that is taking place in this country, and with a number of guests therein as well. From my end, allow me to stop here, but of course, if at all you're watching us for the first time, please do subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching. My name is Evans Okinyi.